In this video, I'm going to show you two examples of how I do these 15-minute quick sketches over a SketchUp model. I think they're super effective to use in a schematic design meeting. So here I have already created a drawing session inside Procreate, and I've loaded in my exported image from SketchUp. I'm going to put this about 50% opacity so it makes my drawing a little easier to see. I know this is going to be a very conceptual sketch, but I don't know which of the three pens that I'm going to use yet. So I'm just going to try it out with this medium felt pen first and see how it goes. So very quickly, in a minute or two, just want to test this pen out and doodle very quickly all over the page and decide whether this is the line weight that I like. So I think this line weight is actually pretty good, but just for fun, I'm going to pick a thinner line weight to see how it looks. And right away, I've noticed it's probably too thin, and I have to put in way more details for this line weight to look good. At this point, I just want to tweak the brush setting a little bit. I think it's slightly too thick, and I'm going to just decrease its maximum size a bit. You can do this fairly easily by going into your pen setting under Property and adjust the brush behavior until it's to your liking. So finally, I'm able to draw. And if you don't know where to start, I like to start with longer geometric lines, as if you're kind of building the bones for the drawing. And slowly you can add in more details. I know I don't want to spend 10 to 15 minutes on this sketch because it's more about communicating a concept about the view, seeing through this open floor plan from one end to the other, and less about the architecture and the design and how that looks like. I've been asked a couple of times on why I trace over the 3D model instead of building this perspective from scratch. The short answer is because it's faster. To build a rough SketchUp model like this actually doesn't take me that long, and then you could quickly take many number of views from many different angles to sketch over. This is much faster than you having to construct each perspective from scratch. It's not just faster, it's actually more accurate too, because your model is built up from real dimensions, from length, width, and height. And on a related note, I've been asked why not just to show the SketchUp model without sketching on top. Well, I think the beauty and power of hand sketches can communicate much more about the emotional quality of a space than a couple of lines from a model export. It's hard to refute that there is a special quality about the hand sketches over anything you can produce with a 3D model or rendering. So this model was built by someone else. I could actually even work with less information than what's shown here and construct the rest by drawing in perspective. As you'll see from this time lapse, I use the undo feature quite a lot because I'm quite often not happy with how I drew certain lines, but I can just undo with 2-tap and redraw it however many times that it takes me until I'm happy. So the other benefit is drawing layers. Once I have the bones kind of built out, if you will, I will create new layers to slowly build other subjects in. This is less destructive way to work because if you need to erase certain information without erasing other parts of the drawing, you can do this very quickly. So I tend to draw fixtures, appliances, and texture on different layers just in case I have feedback from my boss or someone else to remove something or change the look of something. I can just do these on these layers without erasing more than I need to. So I like to annotate my sketches, but you don't have to do this. I think things like text and dimensions adds another dimension to the story and might help someone identify information that might seem easy for you to understand. But remember, your clients are not always architects or interior designers, so they might overlook some of these things that you draw. And in the very end, I will spend a minute or two to putting some finishing touches to the drawing, like people, texture, cute things like a moon or a sun. So in the second example, it has basically the same workflow, so I'm just gonna speed this up quite a bit. But this goes to show that the skim SketchUp model can be used to generate many different views for someone to sketch on top. If you're wondering what kind of brush I used in this tutorial, you can find a link in the description below. In the meantime, you can check out this other video here.